Thank you very much, guys. And I think, Joe, you hit the nail on the head. You need to look introspectively at your inner shoutcaster. And when inner Joe Miller looks at outer Joe Miller's phrases and learns from inner Kobe's outer Kobe phrases, things get gnarly. Right, let's get serious. Samsung White, expected result, fairly one-sided win. It felt like there was little to nothing that Edward Gaming could really do in that game. Samsung White just steamrolled him.
Yeah, and one thing that I want to highlight here, too, is the Fizz pick from Pawn. And what's so interesting about this pick is that he hasn't played it in a while. And back when he had his former ID of OneSuck, when he played on MIG Blitz, which was like kind of an amateur up-and-coming team coached by Woong, he was known as a Fizz main. And I haven't really seen him on it, but he was a god on that champion back then. And so this is yet another pick from Samsung White, and that just sows even more doubt in TSM's mind now.
I mean, at the same time, like, they could have kind of picked whatever they wanted at this point. Like, they realized how strongly they beat EDG last time. They realized there's nothing for them to play. They get first place in the group regardless. So you are right that his Fizz is going to be good, and yeah, okay, he went 10-1-4, but I wonder how much that is just flexing versus actually saying, you know, here's our champion pool we're going to bring up against someone like Blue or Shield. Or
Talking about flexing, pull the first replay up onto your screens. It does really summarize the flow of this game. Freak, you can actually talk us through it.
Yeah, so it's basically these guys playing hyper-aggressive over and over just because they can. Go ahead and roll the clip out. It's basically Samsung White saying, hey, we can take a group. I love this Mata Tornado, by the way. Channels it from behind the wall in Fog of War. Then everyone just kind of dives in together. It is a very coordinated team, but this is now a team with a giant gold lead, and they're just going to simply walk forward at you. You've got really good individual duels here as well. Imp goes crazy, of course, even gets to clean up a kill at the end of it all, but it just shows you the team fight prowess. Pawn gets away. Unfortunately, a slight miss by you here to not track him either.
And then Imp gets one more.
Yep, Imp chases someone down, right? They even keep track of where the retreats go. And Expunge walks away.
Yeah, just a gorgeous fight, too. If you look at, there's so many knockups on the composition of Samsung White, and it's one of those CCs that can't be lowered by tenacity. And when they chain them together so well, when you have the Tornado, you have the Jarvan knockup, you have the Fizz knockup, and they all come in boom, 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 right after one after another, it's almost impossible to win a team fight in a choke like that.
Yeah, I completely agree. We do have another replay. This is one that really impressed Crumbs, and it's one that's going to strike fear into the hearts of every other team that faces off against Samsung White. Crumbs, tell us why.
This one is ridiculous. You know, when you see a Korean team, they tell you, oh, you know, they're mechanically, we're just as good as the rest of the world, but when you put that mechanical skill and it's in harmony with each other, the kind of thing that you're about to see is what happens.
So roll the clip out, and Crumbs, talk us through what really impresses you.
Fizz goes in, dives with the flash E. Jarvan follows up from like miles away, and then the entire team just takes over. Like, they take a 5-for-0 ace in here. They're coordinated with their cooldowns with the Maokai W and the E flash, so that every time it's not just one going in, they have multiple people following them up. And they're right there. Janna flashes in to save Fizz from the tower shot with the heal. You can't match this kind of level. It's artsy. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, and, you know, actually, speaking of that whole team, and Mata especially being incredible, Crepo, I do just want to say that Mata's first completed item after Sightstone was Frost Queen's Claim.
Yeah.
I'm on your side, but...
You know why? You don't need a defensive item if you're winning in 15 minutes.
It's a good point. Right, with that win, what it does mean is that Samsung White guarantee, obviously, the first place seed in the group. We know with TSM losing to SK, our first quarterfinal is 100% guaranteed and locked in. Samsung White will be taking on Team Solo Mid in Busan, Korea. That will be a best of 5.
3 matches.
3 matches? You're calling it that much?
I mean, let's face it.
It's a long time between now and then for TSM.
Yeah, White's just been looking so good though. I don't know what TSM can even fix. They have like 2 weeks time maybe, but even then the difference is just so big.
I'm going to make a bet that I made to you guys in the caster desk previously, which was that if White is to lose to whoever they would play. So now that they play TSM, I should say TSM. If they were to lose to TSM, I will boil my shoe, make a shoe soup, and eat it in front of you guys, because I am so confident this is not happening.
Somebody write that down. Jot it down and record it. Rose-tinted glasses?
Yeah, you know what?
You willing to take the kind of same bet with me?
No.
Oh, come on. You don't have as much faith?
No. All right, I will share a shoe soup with you.
I will say that if TSM beats Samsung White, I will eat an apple pie. A whole pie in one sitting.
Well, I mean, for me, like, coming in here, Like, I think it's going to be a 3-1. Oh, damn it. 3-0. No chance. Damn it. Well, sorry, I don't know how those things get on my face sometimes.
You put them there, that's how. Right. The other consequences of this game is, of course, that with EDG's loss, we do have that second seed tiebreaker match with AHQ coming up in a moment or two. While the teams are getting ready, I believe there's a coin toss to determine who's going to get which side. How broken is Edward Gaming's mentality? This is a question that we were discussing while the game was going on. In your mind, Crumbs, how bad is it in the EDG camp?
When thinking about which team would come out ahead in the EDG versus AHQ matchup, I thought, okay, they lost one game already, and the crowd was really behind the AHQ. This second game is going to be determined as to how badly are they going to lose to Samsung White, and how much is that going to translate into the next match. And with the crowd behind the AHQ, their morale is down. I mean, you have to, like, there's no way somebody's that resilient to not be able to completely step away from these games like these.
Monty, anything to add?
I just think it's a really interesting matchup. And when we talk about EDG, we called this group the David and Goliath group. We expected EDG to do better, but EDG has just been not performing. Like, I'm at this point wondering, is this the Samsung Ozone of this year? The team that comes in with a lot of expectations and then completely chokes in the group stage.
Well, again, keep in mind, like, when we stack rank the teams, I know we like to think of EDG as this very strong Chinese team, but again, they had the same regular season record as Royal Club. Exact same record, actually was down to them 1-3 in the head-to-head. So it's like they're not heads and shoulders against these other Chinese teams. And again, we look at Royal Club like, yeah, they're pretty good, but we didn't think they had a chance against Samsung White either. So I don't think you can say Edward are necessarily actually that incredibly strong.
At the same time, though, they were very much a victim of their own composition last time. They played a slow pole comp and they just didn't respect their power spike. I think if they just go for a more meta game composition, their strengths will shine through and they should be able to beat HQ.
Yeah, I kind of share the same opinion. I actually just want to update everybody and take a look at the standings graphic really quickly for both of these groups A and B, which are drawing nearer to being completed. Group A, of course, Samsung White 6-0, and there's the tie. AHQ and Edward Gaming 3-3, and because they split their head-to-head 1-1, that is why we're going to be having that tiebreaker match. The other side, you do have Starhorn Royal Club, who, in my mind, have looked better than Edward Gaming in arguably a more competitive group. You can put that to the test however you like, but it's interesting to see how these two Chinese squads have fared in the opening 4 days of Worlds.
Yeah, initially we all had the notion that whoever comes out of Group A is going to smash and crush whoever makes it out of Group B, but this is definitely the one match that could have been close, which is why I think TSM is going to be really sad that they didn't get a chance to get that number 1 seed, because playing against number 2 seed in Group A actually gives you a chance to get out. White, on the other hand, looks so strong.
Yeah, and it's really interesting as well. Like, you think about the SK story, how unfortunate Svenskaren's actions were, because once Svenskeren was able to play with the lineup, they beat TSM and they beat TPA, whereas they lost to them when it was Gilius playing. And it's like all the SK fans are like, I'm really sorry you did that, because you ruined one of the European hopes to get in the quarters.
Yeah, that's definitely the truth. Crepo, final thoughts before we move on?
I've actually made all my thoughts already. Thank you, though, for giving me the
guys,
chance.
we do have that tiebreaker coming up between Edward Gaming and AHQ eSports to see who will be advancing to the quarterfinals, where they will face off against Starhorn Royal Club. And we're actually going to see the coin toss to determine who will get the side they want. It is Westo representing AHQ and Edward Gaming's manager representing his team. So that is one of the referees, Tizza, just explain the rules to both of the squads, as we're about to see the magical coin toss
Anytime now.
We'll get there. Come on, JT, he's flicked it. All right, this is not a catch and flip style. I don't know if the camera can zoom that far. EDG actually have one, and they will be selecting, I think that was blue side, if I read JT's lips correctly. So it is blue side, guys. We will be bringing you that match after this short break.
And their first kill coming straight down. Dandy will lock up Clearlum inside of the Cataclysm.
And they're going to turn up. Mana comes around the side. Dandy's just doing all of the damage. In goes Pawn, slides on through. Here they go. Looper catches on to Clearlum. FCZF comes in. Here comes Mana. Howling Gale through the run of them. FCZF locked down and taken out. It's a double for him. Dandy's forced away. They cut off to the side. Rat-a-tat-tat rips on through. Clearlum, that's another one down. They clutch on towards Nami. He drops.